we go. Okay. So thank you for speaking with us from Montreal Rocks. So I have Flavia and Martin from the Courettes.
Courettes, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. So your latest album was released in September, and it's already sold out.
Yes, the first pressing was sold out actually in January already.
Wow. Are you going to do
Yeah.
another pressing?
Well, we've done already. It's selling very good too.
Wow.
So the second pressing is an orange vinyl because the first one was a white, and we had also a rough trade special edition in a transparent vinyl, which is beautiful, and a gatefold with the lyrics. So this one is not gatefold, and it's an orange vinyl. So that's pressing number 2.
Okay, cool. Are you from Montreal originally or not? I wasn't sure.
No,
So-
not at all. We're sitting here in Denmark, and Martin is Danish, and I'm Brazilian, living in Denmark.
Okay, why did I think you were from Montreal?
I have no idea. We hear this a lot actually, because we film everywhere. I think that's it. We're like, planet Earth.
So you're Brazilian and Martin is from Denmark.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cool. How did you meet?
Well, it was
we met in
2013 in a tour bus.
In a tour bus in Brazil. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I was sent with a Danish band to support Flavia's old band for like 2 weeks. So that's how we met. Yeah.
We met 5 in the morning in a tour van.
Mm-hmm.
And I counted the places and I said, okay, it's going to be me and 10 men, 2 weeks on the road. So I said, okay, there's one place is going to be empty. I'm going to put all my stuff here so I have a little, my space and a peace of mind. So Martin was the first one to come in 5 in the morning, and I just pointed, oh, can I sit here? Can I move his stuff? And I was like, Arr. So that's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And he's been in your space ever since?
Oh, he's been sitting by my side. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was annoyed by some minutes, but then we got to learn, each other.
Yeah.
I just got to know him, and we found out we had a very similar record collection, music taste, and also we're both collectors of space age design. So we had many things in common. So it was great that he actually moved my stuff and sat by my side in my space. So I'm very happy that he did it. I didn't know that back then, 5 in the morning.
No.
But that's where we started our relationship, in that tour.
Oh, cool. So were you both like, your style of music is very 60s kind of grunge, rock, nostalgic. Were you both playing that style of music, or?
Yeah, so kind of both, a little different style, but the
not that
inspirations came from the same places, from the same records. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to play really fast punk rock, and Flavia did a little bit more.
Yeah, my former
alt
band,
rock, surf pop,
it was
stuff like
surf
this.
music, garage surf music, a little bit of also post-punk, like B-52s, new wave, that kind of thing.
Did you say B-52s?
Yes, I love them.
That was when I was about 12 years old. I got that record for my birthday.
Really?
The yellow album. I have it in my collection. You know that yellow one?
Yeah,
we have it too.
Cosmic stuff. Yeah. Wow, that's a good gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what started me at 12 years old getting into that. That was before you were born, but anyway.
Cool, but that's the album that got you started. That means so much, I love this kind of memories, from 11, 12 years old, just
And Blondie, 1979, it was a Blondie record that I got hooked on as well.
79, so it's Parallel Lines.
Yeah, no, actually it was Eat to the Beat. I think Parallel Lines came out before, but I got Eat to the Beat. Do you know that album?
Yes.
It has Dreaming on it. It has drums on that song. So Martin is the drummer.
Yeah.
I've watched your videos, so yeah. But you're just 2 people and you're making a lot of noise. So how do you tour? When you're touring, are you just 2 people? I'm curious.
Yes.
So for many years we've been touring, just Flavia and I, and just doing the drums and guitar, and really raw and energetic like shows and sounds. But
I mean we develop a way to be entertaining and also very, you know, to have this huge sound live.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was using octaver, you know, Martin plays the tambourine while he's playing the drums and he's doing backing vocals. So we did all we could, you know, a lot of feedback and the bass ends going from the guitar, you know. So it's funny because back then, I mean, we just started to use some bad technological magic last September, some tricks live too. But before that, we had nothing. And it was funny, a guy went to a show, I think it was in the US last summer, I think. And then he said, you're not playing guitar. And I say, what do you mean? No, you take your hands off and the sound is still there. Because it was too much feedback, like, and he thought I was just like mimicking. So I was so proud, you know. I was not even like saying, okay, it was not even offended because it was like, okay, that's a great compliment. So he was thinking it was so much sounds coming from the guitar, and that he thought because I split the guitar and it was an octave, so it was like 3 sounds coming from the same guitar. So he thought I was just like, you know, mimicking, and there was a guy hidden behind the amplifier or something. So that was a great compliment. Yeah. So, but it took many years to develop that sound that's powerful enough live, and also to be as performers. I think we always had bands before. We had many bands before. This band already has 10 years, but I think we developed a lot as performers also. You know, how to put up a show which is entertaining and, you know, has ups and downs, people can breathe. It's like we take people in on a trip, you know, through the set. So that took years to build. And we also experienced, we had the experience having a bass player, but we play around 140 shows a year, so it's very hard to find somebody who with that commitment. And so after we released the Soul of the Fabulous Courettes last year, there was a lot of things going on in the arrangements. We play all the instruments on the studio too, like bass and guitar, and guitars, because then I can put like 15 guitar tracks or something like that. You know, we love using the studio as an instrument too. So we have our own wall of sound approach to recording since back in mono. So we thought about, let's experiment with some technology and see if we could, you know, I would love to have more arms that I could play bass and guitar at the same time, but I can't. So that's what we're doing since September, and actually we're very happy about it.
Yeah, so you know, we started using with the new album. We thought it was a shame there was so many songs we felt we could not play, and then we decided, so we recorded everything. So
yes,
so why we were thinking, let's try the backing tracks and see how it works out.
Yeah, and it's great.
Just a funny side note, because for years, so many people, so many audiences came to after the show saying, but where was the computers? Where were the other people playing on stage? Or
where's that bass? Yeah.
Where's the bass sounds coming from? So then we were thinking, wow, people already think we were doing backing tracks.
Exactly. And
so then we could might as well just give it a try, see if we like it. And
it's funny because I think now we're also ready, because we actually did a show that works very well with just the two of us, both sonically, like musically, and also in the entertainment part. So now we're free to. We didn't want that. Okay, we have to have this to perform live, otherwise we cannot perform live. We can. We don't need to prove this anymore. So now we're just experimenting to making the sonic, you know, universe even wider, you know, with the two of us, and it has been great actually. It's also, I think, just some small details that really help, you know. That I mean, we can do it without, but when you have a very nice organ sound doubling the guitar at some point, it's just very nice.
Yeah, you've got really great fuzz tone on your guitar. What kind of guitar do you play?
Yes, that also took many years to get that fuzz sound, and also we had a lot of these pedal nerds after the show, like coming and looking, you know,
right?
Like, what's that? Okay, what do you use? So that also was a long way, and we say like this because we're really proud, because it was really a research and experimenting with many stuff. But at the moment I use my signature guitar, which it's made in Belgium from Fab Guitars. It's a Cadillac guitar called Flavia, my own name. Yeah. He's called Fabian. He's from Belgium, and he has the fat guitars. So it's handmade and very unique.
Oh, yeah. That's why I didn't know what it was. So you have a custom guitar. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it's pretty cool. So thanks, Fabian. That's awesome.
I've also
And the pedal, you know, the fuzz pedal is, of course, in the recordings we have the Maestro, the one from the 60s, like da 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 da, the Satisfaction one. But live, it doesn't work out. It doesn't have the low ends. You know, it's very buzzy. It's great. The tone is great, but it's not strong enough. So I'm actually playing with a Dun Electro and the Eisenhower fuzz. And also I played before with the Hyper Fuzz from Boss.
That's many years ago.
That's many years ago, but the sounds great. It was the two fuzz pedals that could have this bass, you know, that we needed live. So that, I mean, I stopped using the Hyper Fuzz, but it's also good. I know it's good. I know we can do it. So
you kind of you're embracing a lot of different 60s sounds. I can't just put you, I mean, you've got like surfer sound, you've got Ronettes kind of vibe, you've got, I even feel sometimes your guitar and your drumming is, it was one song and kind of reminded me of the Kinks a little bit. Are you so what were your early records that you used to collect? Are they all the bands I just named, or yeah.
Yes, 2080, the Cramps, Kinks, Beatles,
Sonic,
Stones, the Sonics, a lot of Go groups, all the Food Factory productions. Also that the work he did after with John Lennon. I'm a big fan of the solo albums with the Spectre productions, and also Ramones, produced by Phil Spector. So I've been to a Ramones show when I was 12.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, yes. So I think it was mostly my influences. What I really dig back since I was 10, 11 is 60s music. Started, of course, with the Beatles, and then came the Stones, and then came the Kinks and the Seeds. And so like I was always very curious to know, okay, why he said that in this interview. And also the Beatles opened up for me not only 60s music, but also culture in general. I remember he was saying, in the interviews about, they talked about meditation, transcendental meditation, or also, what was the name? The beat writers, also.
Ginsberg? Are you talking about the beat?
The beatniks, Jack Kerouac, Ginsberg. So everything for me came from the Beatles, and they opened up, you know, all the cultural revolution of the 60s. I remember John Lennon saying that the tours were like Satyricon. So that's a movie. What's Satyricon? I want to see it. So it just opened up many nuances, like cultural doors for me. So that it also, I think it also has with the Beatles, but then quickly escalated with garage punk and earlier garage bands, and also the girl groups. You know, I remember the first time I heard "Be My Baby," and it was in a Levi's commercial, and I was just like, "Oh, what's that voice? That was this drum sound." So I can still remember that really was a big like, wow, this is what I want to do. So it was mostly the 60s, but then a little bit of punk rock too, like the Ramones, because the Ramones are basically pop songs played on their way, right?
60s pop song.
Yeah, it's totally go groups, you know. If you hear the songwriting, they're very good songwriters, I think, but it's just played in a different way.
Which, are you writing the lyrics, Flavia?
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
Well, I mean, you have a song called "I Want to Be Your Yoko Ono," so
yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, that was a love, you know, that's a love song to Martin.
Yeah. Or destroying the band. So
destroying our old bands, yeah. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So you write it must be therapeutic though. I also feel like you scream a lot in your songs, which it must be like really, I'm thinking what a great release to just, I love when you scream. It just reminds me of those, even like the B-52s, as we mentioned, like, and the girl bands when they used to scream, and you know, I'm sure. Do you lose your voice?
No. Actually, I lost my voice once.
Once in the whole
10 years, yeah.
Okay.
And we still played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the people who have that too.
Oh, then it turned out great.
Hey, it turned out okay. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
there's a lot of apple and honey and all this before the show.
Mm. So are you touring right now?
Yeah, right now we have a break. We did 50 shows.
So
Wow.
far.
Many. We've been touring so hard since January. So we finally had a break now. So we came back from Finland last week, Monday. Yeah, so it's a week we've been home. We played Sweden, Finland, a big UK tour, 12 days, a big USA tour, 12 days too. What else? Well, we play Germany a lot. We play Holland. What else? We are like in the level we don't even remember where we're playing, but we're gonna have 118 shows this year. So we're halfway. We have a little break until July,
Okay.
and then it's gonna be crazy. We're going to Holland. What else? Then comes the UK tour again. We're back to Montreal.
Yeah, so you're in September, October. When are you coming?
September. Yeah, I can find the dates.
So you popped up on my feed, and I was trying to figure out where you were from. I had no idea, and then I said I got to talk to them. They look so cool, and you're so different. Like, yes, I know you've got a '60s vibe. However, right now, like I can't compare you to anyone else. I mean, I got a lot of White Stripe vibes, but White Stripes was the opposite. It was, Meg was on drums and Jack was, the singer and the guitarist. So it's kind of the opposite. Do you get that comparison a lot of the White Stripes?
Yeah, more than we liked.
Yeah, so we do. Yeah, exactly. But it's obviously we like White Stripes. It was a great band, but we never we never had like 1 second of inspiration from the band.
Yeah, that's true.
It's never been we never had the intention of being a White Stripes band or anything like this. We never had it as inspiration. So it's just the formation of a two-piece and
I think
and drums and guitar, and that was just by accident. That was not planned.
Exactly. We never planned that we should continue as a duo, that we should make a duo that looks like White Stripes. That was never.
No, never.
Our band really started in a very organic way, if I may say this for a band, but we never actually planned that we would have let's make a band, that never happened to us. Actually, we started as a love story, and I was just writing, he was living in Denmark, I was living in Brazil. So all the time I was touring with my former band in Europe. So I would take a plane and visit him in Denmark. So sometimes I went all the way from Brazil. You went all the way from Denmark to see each other. So it was a very expensive relationship, by the way. But I had a lot of time in the plane. So I started writing songs. Yoko Ono, I wrote in a plane. The Boy I Love, I've Been Walking, he talks about being jet lagged, stuff like this. So everything was, I've been flying through a million seas. I was just flying to see my babies. It was literally what was going on. So that's how we wrote the first album. And then the first show, we went to the studio and said, well, I have 5 songs. Let's go to the studio. Well, I was visiting him once.
8 songs.
8 songs already. I don't know. I don't remember. Then we went to the studio. First call, we say, wow, that sounds awesome. And I'm actually a bass player. That's funny too. Normally from a band I used to play bass. Okay. So I think the way I play the fuzz is like bass actually. So I just got the guitar because I made the songs in the guitar. I made them in my head, and I pick up the guitar. So just suddenly I was playing guitar. We were a duo, and then our first show we got Kim Kicks from Fabulous Courettes, a very, very cool Danish band, invited us to record. I say, oh, we only have 8 songs. So he said, oh, great, let's record the 8 songs. That's why our first album has 8 songs. So everything just escalated very. But what we learned from this White Stripe comparison is that it's people's references. It's not about, because if you see our music, it's not. They're much more bluesy and I love the blues too. But I don't think we have that in our band musically, but it's the duo formats that is kind of top of mind when you talk about the duos. So I think that's the
style too. I think it's the visuals also in certain extent. I mean, people are very visual and they see you're wearing all black and white or black and red, you know, the visuals. I think
Mm.
that might be it as well. I saw the video for, oh, I love the Shake song.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
I
really great.
like that too. I like that too. Yeah.
'Cause your guitar is red, so it really, I think your lipstick is red. It's very stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was the other guitar, the red one. Yeah, it's great too. Yeah. But anyways, we like the White Stripes. I have nothing against it, but
No.
we never tried to be a White Stripe at all, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe we share some references with them, and that's what people can see sometimes.
Yeah.
But if it makes easier for people to say, oh, it's just a White Stripe, but the opposite, that's a, you know,
Yeah.
whatever that people can, you know, get the chance to actually play our music and, you know, come to
Well,
our shows. I think it's great.
Also because it's one of the really rare big successes of the duo format, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
In a newer time, at least.
Right, right.
So of course, it's also gonna be our eternal conversation with a comparison with a.
But we have much more influence from Ike and Tina Turner, for example, than
Absolutely,
Of
yeah.
course, they played with the whole band. It's not a real
It
duo.
was not a duo like
Sonny and Cher, you know, we love this kind of stuff, actually. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for the songwriting.
I guess like when did your parents play, like have a lot of 60s records in the house? Because you really love that. I love the 60s and the 70s myself. It's my favorite part of music and history. So
Yeah,
like,
we both had parents with 7-inch singles.
And my mom had
Obviously.
vinyl, not
Yeah.
7-inch.
Okay. My mom had a lot of 7 inches with the Beatles and Doors and
My mom had this compilation with the Beatles, the red one and the blue one.
this one, okay.
That was how I got to know the Beatles, and I just loved it. I just listened a lot to the red one. I thought, this is great. The blue one's never going to be better. And I listened to the blue one. I said, oh my God, it's even better. But I missed the you know. So that's how I got to know the Beatles. And my aunt had a big collection of CDs of the Stones.
Okay.
So I went to visit her that disappeared. Well, here goes, I don't know, Exile Main Street. And then I went there. I thought, oh, here goes Between the Buttons. You know, I was all the time just stealing the CDs from her. My uncle was pretty angry at me. I said, where are all the Rolling Stone CDs? So I had to give them back. At some point, I said, well, we don't listen to it anyway. Just, you know.
But I guess early Stones, because then at one point the Stones got kind of disco-y at one point, you know? Do you remember?
Yeah, after Tattoo You, and it's this is not. I mean, I read the Brian Jones period. I think it's so many good pop songs.
Yeah.
Like Tuesday. I think Ruby Tuesday is one of the best written, best pop songs written ever. Yeah, I love it. She's a Rainbow or Painted Black and all this. And with the crazy instruments that Brian Jones bring along, you know, the flutes and all this. I really dig the Stones with Brian Jones, but I actually like Exile Main Street too. So I mean, I don't like the disco. I don't like the Some Girl stuff, but before I also like, although with Brian Jones is my favorite thing. It's my favorite phase. Yeah.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. Do you like, are your fans that come to your show, are they older people that are nostalgic, or are they young people that are really loving the vibe of your grungy rock?
Both, yeah, both.
Yeah.
And we think it's great, you know, because then you have to have the young kids so the audience actually move, you know, because we put out a very energetic concert.
Yeah.
So if only the older fans come, and they are a little bit more stiff, and we like when it's a wild.
It's a good balance, and
yes.
And it's good because you know, the world is a better place when people know rock and roll. So
exactly.
I think it's super important that the young kids are beginning to dig punk rock, and hopefully it's gonna, you know, it's such a great time being like a teenager discovering music like we all did.
Yeah.
And then, you know, discover punk rock, and then the avalanche of all the other genres, you know, very close to the, for example, punk rock. It can open up to
surf music or groups.
Yeah, exactly. All this.
Wave.
So we're super happy. Super happy. A lot of young kids like the what we
Yeah.
do, and
And then the older ones too, we love them, you know, because
exactly,
they
yeah.
come and say, "Well, I've seen so many bands, and you guys are great."
Yeah.
There's always this, there's always somebody who comes after the show and say, "Well, I saw the Cramps in 1978, and it was better than that." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my God, no!"
Yeah.
But it's funny how we always like some.
Yeah, so
They
we
saw
are
some great
super
show
proud,
back then.
super proud of experienced concert goers, like all the
Exactly.
audiences, because when they come and say, "Oh, I saw, yeah, Cramps, for example, or I saw
Yes.
Sonics, or I saw, you know, Iggy, or, you know, so many bands," and say, "Wow, this is the best I've seen for 25 years." Something like this.
Yes.
It's extremely, we're really proud of this achievement, because it's
Yeah, because they've seen a lot.
they've seen much more shows in a longer lifetime, obviously. That
And they've been alive in the era
exactly,
we love. Some of them were alive on
Mhm.
that in the 60s, for example, or as you live in the 70s. So going to shows in the 70s.
Yeah.
So this is a piece of history that we want to also be connected to that. So that's why I think it's the perfect crowd for us. There would be this mix, because it's so important also to have the people who experienced, you know, rock and roll history, and we really have to take good care of them. But it's getting rare and rare. The world's just getting, you know. I don't know. I hope it doesn't, this passion we had, like when you had your first record, you got the 52s or Lonnie. I hope that this continues, you know, with the young people. Things are so easy nowadays, Spotify and all this, you know.
Yeah. No, I think it will, because vinyl is really big now. And,
Yes, you're right.
and the kids are now collecting vinyl, and they're enjoying that. And there's Record Store Day here in Canada. And I bring my son to shows, and I'm hoping to bring my son to your show in Montreal in September.
How old is he?
Well, he's 21. He doesn't like to hang out with me anymore, but
it is.
We have a 9-year-old son.
Oh, wow. Do you tour with him?
Sometimes, yeah.
That must be complicated.
What?
Well, you tour a lot, so
yeah. Well, it's a lot of logistics. We don't do long tours, actually. If you look at the schedule, it's 12 days in a row maximum.
Yeah.
And we have to come back home to be with him. And when it's like easier, like early festivals or just Scandinavia or Germany, some short tours, he comes with us.
You live in Denmark?
Yes.
What time is it there?
8:30.
8:30 in the nighttime, yeah.
So he's in bed. That's why I wanted to do.
Okay.
That's why we usually do the interviews.
Okay, cool. Well, you popped up on my news feed a little while ago, and I think it's probably because, I mean, I ordered a book online, and wait, you know, when things you attract. So I was reading this book. Do you know this book? Have you read this book?
Yes, we have it too. We have it somewhere here. Yeah.
So I was following, hold on. Sorry. I just got a pop-up message. We're going to wrap it up. Sorry about that. I think that the universe somehow brought you to my news feed.
Absolutely. It happens to us all the time.
Yeah, which I like. I love your style. I love your sound. I'm really looking forward to seeing you when you come to Montreal. And do you have anything to add? Yes, no?
Please come to our show.
Come to the show, spread the word, and see you there.
Let's say the name of the venue, because we played too much. So
I think it's Les Fufounes Électriques. Is that right?
Yes. Cabaret Fou. That's how you say it?
Well, it's Cabaret Fou. I think it's short for, it was called Les Fufounes Électriques. Do you know what that means?
That sounds much better. Fufounes Électriques. That's how. So I hope everybody comes to Fufounes Électriques.
And it's September
22nd.
Yeah.
22nd. Okay.
And it's going to be a second time in Montreal. I will love the city. So please come to a show and bring us out for hanging out after, because we thought it was so European. It's an amazing city you have there.
They speak French here, so. Do you speak French?
Yeah, un peu. Je parle un peu, oui.
Cool. Okay. Sounds okay.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Annette. Thank you. And if the interview comes anywhere, and I don't know, it's a magazine blog, just let us know. We can put it out to share with us
on YouTube. It's going to go on YouTube and our site.
And if you just write us, if you're coming to the show, of course, we can put your name in the guest list.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice to meet you in person.
See you in Montreal.
Bring us that.